Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I want to talk about something. Think about a person who plays that hierarchy game, or erects a totem pole, which is used wrong, but where she is on top and everybody else is underneath her, and she's an adult mean girl, adult mean boy, this kind of thing, and she, it seems like it's for years now. It's been the thing a lot of people want to see, watch. Some people watch it because they're wannabes, and some find it hilarious, and some they want to talk bad about them. They want to make their own channel and be earn money off of talking bad about them, and whatever is the case. Some just run across and say, yikes. But anyway, and I told this story about it years ago. And when I first got on YouTube back 11 years ago, it was August, it was 11 years, my original channel, and it was very community-based, back then. It wasn't about your brand, that came later. It wasn't about, how to make money, and boy, people who were trying to make money off of it, oh, they were slammed back then. Seriously. And we're going to get out of our community. We don't want you. We don't want the e-beggars. They didn't have to be e-beggars. They could just be selling something, actually selling like jewelry or whatever, something they made or something they bought. Resellers. Not retailers, but resellers. And they were not appreciated. So it was very community-based. Well, with any community, there are going to be at times, I've never known, in my 62 years, I've never known it not to happen, never, where there are at least that one, as I used to call it. There's going to be that one, at least. But, it's never, it's not one of those 100% kind of things, exceptions to the rule, and in my life, that was the rule, that they had that person who is going to be an adult mean girl. A drama queen. The behaviors fell under histrionic personality disorder. The behaviors, I'm not diagnosing, but yeah, they had to be the queen bee. They had to be the center of everybody's attention. They wanted to be the queen bee, where they had all these people under, she would be a woman. These are going to be women, she wanted all other people underneath her. She is their top dog. God, it goes on and on. Okay, now, and I used this one example. It was a woman. She left YouTube making videos, and I think I did quit watching her way back then, and then she came back, from what I understand. I don't know. I haven't even checked her channel to see, but I do. I think I'm pretty sure that's what was the case. And then there was another woman who was on for many years, and several years. She started right before I did, and she was a copycat. Okay, I would do something. That was my first introduction online, on YouTube, on making videos, all that. Somebody copycatting what I did. She was the first. And I mean, I would do something within 24 hours, she did the same thing. And her channel never went over 1,000, even though she did all that. Usually they do, but hers didn't. And they go around copycatting people. They would do things like going to every person's, like if I had people leaving me comments, they would go to that person, that person's channel, see if they were making videos, and they would leave a comment on their videos. And they would leave comments introducing themselves and stuff. They were basically trying a different form of stealing, somebody's views, stealing somebody's, subscribers. It was a whole big thing back then. There's so many theories about it, people, talking about it and such. They were good, decent people. I'm one of those good, decent people. Okay, I don't play with all that stuff. And you know, these other ones, they were setting up this hierarchy, this totem pole, and all that. I don't play that. I do not play that game. I don't play the totem pole game. I'm not going to set up some hierarchy, because this one woman that she wanted to be the queen bee, not the copycat. She wanted the copycat as her, underneath her too. And this one woman that did the queen bee thing, she really wanted that hierarchy. And judging by her own yardstick, the one that she set up, what it is to be the top, what they need to be, her own, not mine. I don't play it. Remember, hers. She was not above me. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't know at first. I mean, I was new to all this stuff, and new to making videos, and my concentration was on that, and how I was enjoying it, all this stuff. And then started seeing all this stuff, and seeing that at first I didn't know why on earth was she targeting me. At first I didn't even realize she was targeting me, because there was no reason for her to. Okay, and she wouldn't say my name or anything. No, none of the people who've ever done things like copycat off of me or any of that, they would never say my channel name or my name or any of that. And because they're not going to give anybody credit, so they're going to act like it's their own, even though they're dates. These videos are dated. And if mine was, quite often in the evening, they had did it they did it theirs the next day. There's dates. It shows you did yours after mine. So, you see what I'm saying? So anyway, to get to that part, the woman that set up the totem pole game for herself, her yardstick, and everybody else was underneath her, that kind of thing. I didn't know until mainly one thing that happened was that Adam bought a new SUV, new, okay, that word, N-E-W, new. Now, Adam is an electrical engineer. The two of us, I'm a social and behavioral scientist, we worked hard and smart. Okay, you know how people say, work smart, not hard? Well, sometimes it requires both. And we went through some really tough times when we first met and married. Oh my goodness, really hard times. But we made it out of it. It took decades. It took a lot, I'm telling you, took a lot. And we made it, and so he bought him a new, it was going to be his, he was determined, that this is going to be his last new automobile, his last new vehicle, and he wanted a good one, so he bought a good one. It was expensive, and that's just fine. And like I said, it took us a lot to get to this point, and he bought me one not so great. It was a new one, but with this woman, I had no idea that she, no real, I mean, I had suspicion, of course, but like I said, she never said, she never really, also because it was so community-based that people could easily figure it out. And it was, the communities were tight, okay? So she didn't really let it out enough until then. Her jealousy took over. How dare Adam buy a new SUV? New. So she downed his type of SUV. Okay, she downed it. She tore that apart. Because her jealousy was so thick. And then she talked about her used car that she was going to buy, and how that it was better than Adam's car. She didn't say Adam's name, but it was better than that type of SUV, not car, but SUV. Okay, and it was like there was no way, because like I said, close community, very close, very tight, and so it was made very obvious. Like I said, there were hints before. Okay, she made it very, very obvious. And I thought, you know, I don't play the totem pole game. We all have our strengths and all have our weaknesses. We're all human. Seriously. No, that wasn't her way. You know, she measured by her own yardstick. Well, she had previously been in a professional position. Well, judging by her own yardstick, by hers, not mine. I don't play the game. Hers was not above either one of ours. Okay? But she was putting out that someone, you know, the more and more jealous she became, the more and more came out about me. Okay, she never said my name, never said my channel name, but more and more. Okay, she was being eaten up by it. And I have no idea if she still does stuff like that. But she set up this thing also during this while that she had this, she had that totem pole thing going on, and that she had people that she would not ever let in her circle. This is stuff that she was saying. Okay, not me thinking it. She was saying that there were only certain people that she would allow herself to, or allow them to. Maybe it was, I don't know what it was. It was a little different back then. But the only thing I know that I've ever known you couldn't do is you could delete people's comments. And maybe that's what it was. But I don't think so. It was something else. Like, I think part of it was that she had her own people who she would watch, and there were some people she just refused to watch because they're not in her, what was the word that she would use? In her social class. They were outside of it. They were not worthy of being in her social class or her social group, online group, you know. They were not worthy. This is her setting it up now. Her judgment about people. I mean, can you believe somebody actually says something like that? That superiority thing going on. That puts them underneath that totem pole. You know what I'm saying? Some people try to put other people under it. She just put herself under it. Okay. I took a little break there, but so she set this up, her own little hierarchy, and she saw herself as the queen bee, and she was above in every class, in every way, according to herself, her yardstick. She's measuring everybody by. Okay, so, and she had that whole thing about Adam, like I was saying, you know, that he bought this, but her used was better than his new. Okay. Made sure she told everybody. She did not use his name. But close, really close, you know, compact community, people could figure it out. So, anyway, I'm a little distracted by something. Okay, but anyway. So then she set up the woman that was copycatting me. She set her up as though she was her best friend. Okay, but now remember, she has herself as elevated above everybody, so she's the queen bee, and that was going to be one of her underlings. Okay, her minions, or whatever you're going to call them these days. But she was going to, trying to say that woman was on top. That woman was another cream of the crop, creme de la creme. That they both were, but the other one was slightly below her. And below her, Well, one day, and I was thinking, I'm trained in research, both qualitative and quantitative, so observation, for one, is important. Both, really, in just different ways. And I was like, she's not catching on. Our own yardstick, hers. I don't play the totem pole game. And sure enough, she wasn't. And I mean, you could watching this woman, you could see that she is not high class as that woman would put it. They were, you know, she had elevated herself, the one that elevated herself up to Queen Bee. And, you know, she was the best of all. But this other one, the one that she made, you know, as practically her best friend, was not. By that woman's yardstick, that woman, the original, you know, the Queen Bee, not the Queen Bee. There is somebody that goes, more than one person, I think, goes to their channels about Queen Bee or something. Not that person. No. You know, this the real meaning behind the Queen Bee thing. There's been plenty of them, actually, who used Queen Bee. So none of those that have a channel called Queen Bee. But, anyway, so what happened was, the one that she had, you know, as her best friend, the copycat, the copycat did a thing about her house. And instead of just a room in her house, she did it about her outside of her house. And it was not impressive by that woman, by the Queen Bee's kind of yardstick. And boy, was she ever angry. She did videos about how people are so deceptive and they put themselves off to be, you know, on the class that they're not in. You know, they claim they're in this higher class and they're not. They're in a lower class, not even middle. You see what I'm saying? She went all off on video. This was a very tight community. I keep saying that on purpose. So we all knew who she was talking about. Okay, and it was just right after she did that. You know, the copycat showed the outside of her house. So look at how she was, you know, QB was putting off her superiority, and then just really bad-mouthing, really, you know, these are all women, I'd say all of us are in our 60s now, okay, and the people that follow her would be in their, let's say, mid to late 50s and up. And anybody that was back then in a group, I don't know that many of them are still around on making videos. I don't know. I don't go searching for them. But, anyway. So she just had that superior attitude, and she did not care that she bad-mouthed people. She had, instead of her realizing, hey, she made the judgment. She was bad about her judgment, and acknowledging that she put it off on the copycat. You know, that the copycat was a big liar, and that she put herself, said that she was this of this class and that, and she's not. She's lower class. You know, the nerve of people. I don't play a totem pole game. I keep saying that, and I'm going to keep saying it. No, I don't play the totem pole game. And so you see what I'm saying? All right, there's a purpose behind why I'm saying all this. Something more recent. Yeah. Okay, there's actually more than one reason, but this is getting kind of long, so I'll just give a brief one on one of them. And that is somebody who's basically done the same. Put themselves out to be this, you know, person higher. But you can see, you know, high on the totem pole, top of the hierarchy, all that, superior, everything. And, but you can actually see, because the person makes videos and shows things that they're not that. Seriously, you can see it, just like the other one. You could see, okay, but none of them were. None of them were that. There's not only those two who've done it, you know, over the years, but you could see it. mean, somebody who's trying to say that they are in the upper crust, you know, they're upper class in the United States. They're the upper class. And then they're living in, I don't want to say that. See, I don't play the game, so I don't really want to say it. They're living in. But it's definitely not, see, I don't like to say that. I really don't. You know, it's definitely not upper class. But they believe, or there's so many different things they could be. Okay, not just this, but you know, so they, you know, like pathological, or just people who are liars, and they lie, and they start believing their own lies. You know how many people have said that over decades. That's how they used to put it. They lie so much they started believing their own lies, and that would be a lie. I mean, when people can actually see the difference, but they also, if they're well aware that's what they're doing, they're still aware that they're doing it. They're very deceptive, and they're fooling other people, and they believe that the people they're fooling, their audience in this kind of case, is that ignorant. I don't like that word either, but hey, in you know, certain fields they call it what it is. Okay. But anyway, these were people. You know, I was raised to be very humble. Okay, that's just how it was. I was raised in a Christian family and raised to be humble. Didn't really have much choice, but it's my personality. And these are people who were not raised that way, or maybe they were and they wanted to retaliate. Who knows? Okay, but that's how a lot of people see it. They were raised to fake it till you make it. Well, they never made it, and they kept faking it. Seriously. But they tell the world that they are that cream of the crop. Okay? And they believe that their viewers, you know, the people, especially people who are wannabes, and they want to belong, they you know, want to be that cream, you know, creme de la creme. Oh, let's use that, say it that way. Oh, the people who want to be what they have not worked to be, have not worked toward being. But, you know, they're judgmental, they're superficial, they're materialistic. These things, instead of just trying to be a good, decent person, you know, they want to tell the world that they're superior to all others. And, you know, everybody else is inferior. And they have nothing to show for it. They're liars. They're lying, they're deceptive, you know, on and on. So, anyway, so that was them. But more recently are people who, you know, there are again people who are telling the world that they're superior, and especially the ones who use that and what, you know, I've been thinking about so much that I'm worried that it's becoming part of the way I speak again, because I worked in this myself, and that have worked for healthcare, people in healthcare, and they cop that kind of, it's a mixture, as I call it, a mixture of Valley Girl and what they think is royalty or British. I don't know what they're trying to do, but it's a mixture, and it doesn't, it's fake. And it's obvious, at least to me, it's obvious that it's fake. And they'll use it. It's, like I said, it's just more of the fakeness, more of lying, more of, you know, trying to act superior. And you can see that they're going to have that fall. And it could be that the first queen, the one that acted like she was Queen Bee and she was so superior to all, the one that was an adult mean girl, she wanted to be the leader of the pack. And she, you know, she had her hierarchy all set up into place. And totem pole, and she tried to put me under it. You don't place me, I do. So, anyway, I think that could be why that she had quit. I'd stop watching them. I watch, a certain amount. I see how they are overall. I do make quick judgments because we're taught to do so, for safety reasons, and that it becomes part of who we are, a survival instinct kind of thing. But then if it's someone that I'm not in any kind of threat to, from the way they act, I'll get to see more about them and stuff, make my own. Is this a person that I do not want to be around? If you're Christian, 2 Timothy 3, this kind of thing, and move on. And so that's what I did, moved on. But I knew at some point, because of the way it is, and was the, you could get just different things, like you're recommended these people that you used to watch and all this. So at one point, I guess I looked and saw that she hadn't been on in a while. So, and I'm guessing maybe she got so mad after bad-mouthing Adam's SUV. This new SUV. The people like that have to put their touch of misery on stuff. And I laugh at them. Yeah, because it just shows what kind of person they are. And it's on them. They're not a good, decent kind of person. Anyway, I think because her whole attitude become that, and of that other woman, it was such a, closed kind of community, close people. And I think she basically got kicked out of Dodge. There was one more incident after that. It was on a live stream she did, and she started bad-mouthing me on the live stream. Okay. This was a community. People knew me, and they didn't like it. That she was bad-mouthing me. My guess. And then she was gone. And she came back, I don't know how many, it could have been years. I don't know, but she's shown up again. So I know she's there. I checked it. I didn't go back and find out when did she come back or anything like that. But yeah, she had been making videos. So maybe I wonder if she learned her lesson. You don't go around bad-mouthing people. Unless you're one of those channels. But you see what I'm saying? Anyway, I think this is too long. So I'm going to do this.